Hey, it's Emily and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm bringing to you my July TBR. So I am back in front of my new setup, my new library, to bring you my TBR jar picks my July reads. The jar is getting a little emptier now, so we're getting through the prompts. If you haven't seen one of my TBR videos before, I pick 6 prompts at the start of every month because that allows me to also mood read a few. I tend to read about 10 to 12, 13 books a month, so picking 6 is a good start for me. It's so nice to be sat in front of all my books that I can pick from, so I'm looking forward to pulling out some options and showing you instead of running between rooms this time. I do have 3 buddy reads happening this month, so I'm going to try and squeeze them onto the TBR where I can, but we'll see how it goes. Typically, the jar isn't great at getting my buddy reads onto the TBR. It could change in July though, it could change in July. But I think without further ado, let's pick our first prompt and see what I'm going to be reading in July. Right, let's give it a rummage. And let's go for one at the bottom. Let's go for this one, this reddish one. Once again, the colours don't mean anything apart from greys. The greys are genres. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Doesn't help with the buddy read, but it says under 250 pages. So a nice short book. What is a short book that I fancy reading? Let's have a look. I've kind of been fancying rereading this just because I loved it when I was 14, 15, and it's quite short. It's 234 pages, so it's an option. Doesn't help with the TBR issue though. Ooh, I could read Demon, the 6th and final book in the 6 Stories series. 221 pages. I'm going to read Demon. I'm going to do it. I'm going to read the final book in the 6 Stories series. Oh, the first 5 have all been 5 stars for me, so this one better get 5 stars. It can't let the series down. If you've been around for a while, you'll know that I've talked about this series a lot. It follows this kind of true crime podcast host. He hosts this podcast called 6 Stories, where he picks up a cold case or an old case and interviews 6 different people from the case. And more often than not, aka in every book, not everything is as it seems. It's written as podcast episodes, so it's broken into 6 episodes instead of chapters. The audiobooks are phenomenal, they're full cast and amazing. So, book number 1 for under 250 pages, we're going to be reading Demon by Matt Wesolowski. Also, I'm trying to work on how to work with the lighting at the minute. With the big window being there, I don't know yet. But anywho, let's move on to prompt number 2. Give it another shake and a rummage as usual. Let's go for this one. We have a big thick purple one. What does this say? Okay, interesting. Once again, does not help with the buddy reads, but it says young adult. So that's pretty broad, just a young adult book. We have plenty on my TBR, especially in this region. I've been wanting to read Odd One Out for quite a while. I could read a young adult thriller, maybe. Let me have a look. This is actually quite hard. I don't know what young adult I'm actually in the mood for. Oh, I have a great idea. Okay, we got one. I'm going to be reading Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This year I've read The Hunger Games for the first time, so I've never read Mockingjay. I've only read the first 2. It's about time I wrap up the trilogy, and obviously this is a young adult dystopian, so perfect! And then I can finally watch the movies. I haven't ever watched the movies, hadn't read them, I hardly knew what they were about, so there we go. Wrapping up a trilogy as well. Perfect. I feel like everyone knows what The Hunger Games is about. I'm very, very late to the game. But hopefully this will be a very quick read. I've managed to read the first 2 across 1 or 2 days. There we go. That's book number 2 for a young adult. We've got some very, very dark covers at the minute. Not quite giving summer, but hopefully some good reads, some highly rated reads. So without further ado, let's move on to prompt number 3. Once again, another shake and a rummage. I'm gonna pick this prompt. Got another purple one. What does it say? Oh! It says big font. So a book that has a big font. That could be anything. That could literally be anything. That means taking a book off the shelf though to find out. I'm gonna first of all check my buddy reads and see if any of those have big fonts. I don't think they do, but worth checking. I know one doesn't. So I did pick this out at the start for a short book. Now the font for a hardback is absolutely massive, so I feel like also hardback is a good way to go. So I could read Textrovert again. Honestly, this book is so cringy, so cheesy. It's like the epitome of like 2010s Wattpad romance. I first read it on Wattpad when I was probably like 12, 13. So part of me wants to kind of relive it. This is my front runner at the minute. I'm gonna have a quick look, see if there's any other options. But for now, I'm gonna pick Textrovert. Oh, this also has a fairly big font, especially for a romance, I wanna say. That is a good option, so pull that out as well. This has fairly big font. Oh, this has massive font. That is huge. So it depends on whether I want to prioritise a reread or get a book off my TBR. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna reread Textrovert by Lindsay Summers. This was originally on Wattpad as The Cell Phone Swap, and then I think it's been indie published as Textrovert. I remember it being such a pain to get this book. I had to like ship it from France. This follows Keely, who goes to a fun fair and drops her phone, picks up another phone. She accidentally picks up the wrong phone, basically. The person whose phone she picks up has her phone. So they have each other's phone, they start texting, they're in their senior year of college, and it's like a jock. And I think she's a quiet girl. So it's partly told through text, partly through prose, and I'm actually so excited to reread this. I am. I'm getting a bit excited just because I know that I'm going to be taken back to my teenage years. So there we have it. Textrovert is going to be for big font. That means we have 3 prompts left, 3 buddy read books to fit on. Will we do it? Is the TBR jar going to be nice enough? Let's find out with prompt number 4. Let's give it a rummage. And let's go for this one. Another purple one. We're getting the purples today. Okay. Doesn't help a buddy read. It says foiling on the cover. So that's probably going to be a hardback. A book with foiling on the cover. A quick non-fiction would be David Suchet's Behind the Lens. That has foiling on the cover and it's mostly pictures, but just him talking about his life and the pictures he's taken. So that is a good option because it will be a very, very quick read and I'm very excited to read it. I love David Suchet. Unless I pick an Agatha Christie. I might pick an Agatha Christie. They're very related, you know, but I think I'm going to pick Cat Among the Pigeons by Agatha Christie. This is a Poirot book. As you can see, the title is foiled and there's foiling on the feathers as well. The quote on the back says, "We're the pigeons, all of us, and the cat's amongst us, but we can't see the cat." I do also have the paperback, so I might read from this edition because this is like my fancy edition and I don't tend to read from the special editions, but I'm going to count it. I'm going to count it as foiling on the cover. I haven't read an Agatha Christie in a month or two, so it's about time I pick up another one. I really clearly remember the episode of this book. I can literally picture the sports pavilion in my head. It says on the back, "Late one night, 2 teachers investigate a mysterious flashing light in the sports pavilion while the rest of the school sleeps. There, among the lacrosse sticks, they stumble upon the body of the unpopular games mistress, shot through the heart from point-blank range. The school is thrown into chaos when the cat strikes again. Unfortunately, schoolgirl Julia Upjohn knows too much. In particular, she knows that without Hercule Poirot's help, she will be the next victim." Ooh. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. I remember loving this episode, so I'm excited to actually finally read the book for the first time. How exciting! So that is book number 4 for foiling on the cover. So on to prompt number 5. Please can we get a buddy read onto this TBR? Let's give it a shake. What is prompt number 5? Come on, Jar, you have this. You got this. We've got another purple. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god, am I bleeding? There's blood all over my finger. Where does that come from? Oh no! I'm literally covered in blood and I didn't even realise. I was too busy picking books. Well, I'll save you the sight of seeing the bloody finger, but it says long chapters. I think I know what I'm going to pick. I'm definitely going to squeeze a buddy read onto this prompt. Okay, so I'm going to pick Dark Age by Pierce Brown for this one. And even though I've had a flick through, the chapters aren't like long, but the font is tiny. But when I'm reading them, the chapters feel really long because there's still a lot of text to get through. So it's not like strictly long chapters, but they are long because the font is tiny. And I need to get this chunky book onto the TBR. So this is the kind of 5th book in the Red Rising saga. It's the 2nd book in the kind of like second part of the series. It is the longest one in the series. We've got 752 pages, so it's quite the chunker. I'm starting this on the 1st. Me and Becca are reading this from the Becca file. I've read this before, but I'm rereading it with Becca because I haven't read Lightbringer yet. There's a new map of Mercury. I do love this series and I love the world, the characters, fantastic. And I'm excited to start buddy reading this with Becca. If you didn't know, the Red Rising saga is a sci-fi series. A lot of people describe the first book, Red Rising, as the Hunger Games in space, but it definitely gets more like political sci-fi the further you get into it, and we're right in the thick of it at this point. But I love Pierce Brown's writing and I can't wait to get back into this world. So there we go. For long chapters, I've picked Dark Age by Pierce Brown. So at least we've gotten one of the buddy reads onto this TBR. I thought this TBR was going to be full of like summary romances, but it doesn't look like it's panning out that way. Hey ho. Let's see what our final prompt number 6 has in store for me. Right, let's give it a rummage. Let's pick a colour that's not purple, please. Please. Let's go for this one. Okay, you have an orange one. That's something. That's something. Okay, this might work for one of the buddy reads. I don't know. It says ends in an odd number of pages. So let me have a look and see which of the buddy reads ends in an odd number of pages. Okay, so one of the buddy reads does end on an odd number of pages. I've gone for the chunkier one, which is Consider Me by Becca Mack. It ends on page 535, so there we go, an odd number. And I've managed to get this on the TBR. So this is a hockey romance. I am buddy reading it with Chloe and her Patreons. I'm now looking forward to reading a hockey romance series that's not set in college. I love the Elle Kennedy series, like don't get me wrong, I love the Bry universe. But I haven't read many from actual NHL players, they mostly have just been college players. So I'm excited to see what this has in store for me. So I believe this follows Carter, who's like the best player in the NHL by the sounds of things, and then Olivia, who doesn't want to date a hockey player. She knows that from her best friend's boyfriend, but Carter has an interest in her and will do anything it takes to win her over, to make her consider him. So there we go. I just opened it up and saw some smutty things going on that page, so there we go. Looking forward to adding this to my TBR. So that is it for the prompts. The final book I'm going to mention is the final buddy read I have, and that is The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy. I've been reading Elle Kennedy's books with my friend Jazz, and this is the third and final book in the Avalon Bay trilogy. I'm just about to start the second one, Bad Girl Reputation, today, but after reading Good Girl Complex, I fell in love with the world and the characters, and it just brought like the summery vibes that I felt as a teenager. It really felt like I was reading a romance from when I was like 15, 16, but like an adult version, and it just felt better. So I'm looking forward to continuing the series and then wrapping it up in July. This one's a little longer than the first two in the series, but I'm excited nonetheless. And this feels like a perfect summary read. I am going on holiday at the end of July, so maybe I'll take it away with me. But there we have it. That is my entire TBR for July. I'll quickly run through the books again. So we had some real random prompts this month, but we had Demon for under 250 pages, Mockingjay for a young adult book, Textrovert for big font, Cat Among the Pigeons for falling on the cover, Dark Age for long chapters, and then finally Consider Me for a book that ends in an odd number of pages, and then The Summer Girl as a bonus on top. So there we go. There are some chunky books on this TBR, but doable for sure, for sure. I hopefully will have a lot of time on my hands throughout the first part of this month, which should mean a lot of reading time. But thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Let me know if you've read any of these before and your thoughts and feelings. If you'd like to leave a comment and don't know what to say, feel free to leave a surfing based emoji down below because The Summer Girl is set at the perfect surfing beach location. Thanks again for watching, and subscribe if you're new around here because I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I look forward to seeing you soon with a brand new video. Bye!